Oh, you're live.
I'm live?
Yeah.
Ah. No countdown for me, just straight in live. As always, ask any questions. Whoever's first in the comments, let me know who was first there. But today I'm going to be talking about racket setups, in particular my new one. I have my new Pure Drive here, and I've done a little blend of Solinco Mac 10 and Restring Vivo, and I don't really like it. It's okay, but I just don't really like it. We're not live, we are live. We don't know if we're live. Are we live?
Yes, we are.
We are live. Marvellous. That was good. I didn't do anything else to do. Oh, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you're from. Let me know where you're from, let me know where you're watching from. And if anyone's, well, I mean, I am live, yeah, thanks for that. If anyone does have any ideas why I don't like this, then feel free to put in, because I can't quite figure it out. I've used Vivo full bed and quite liked it. I used Mac 10 full bed and quite liked it. And when I put them together, I don't quite like it. So I haven't quite figured it out yet. I'm playing in a match tomorrow, my first match for many a year, and I'm going to use it. So if I lose, I've got a good excuse, right? But I'm going to give it a go and see what I think. So if anyone else ever found that with a racket where they've used two strings, they like both, put them together, and they don't work, I don't know if it's because Vivo isn't slick, so doesn't slide, doesn't work with the Mac 10. I don't know if it's the shapes. I don't know. I think it looks quite cool, which is why I went for it. And there's two new strings, I thought, let's try them together. But yeah, not a huge fan, which is unlike me. I normally like all things Pure Drive, but not this. Hello from India. Good morning in California. Superb. I've noticed that in my Aero 98 it's quite sensitive string and tension. Yeah, so maybe that's the thing. I think some rackets are just very, yeah, as you say, sensitive, and little changes can make big impacts. It's something that we talk about quite a lot when we let people demo rackets. We try and talk about just the feel of the swing and the balance of the racket and the weight and just how it feels, because where the ball goes is easily adjusted by string. Either tension, gauge, type, hybrids, blends, etc. So if you like a racket and you just feel like it feels nice in your hand when you swing it, even if you don't like the outcome of your ball, we can always counter, we can always work with that, which is why coming into specialists like us can really help. We can also test your rackets, but then fine-tune your setups to make sure we're working. But the Aero 98, I didn't really like that when I first used it, and I used it with RPM Blast. Then I put it full bed 0 and really liked it. And that was actually the same in the Aero 100 and the 300 gram one. So I'm not surprised, Chris, that you found that. So if you tried full bed 0, I'd go for it. I liked it. It depends, what have you got at the moment? What have you tried that you didn't like? And we can try and find something to tinker it with, potentially. We've got a Blade 98 1619 user. So some of you will have watched my top 5 modern control frame rackets, and I was getting a lot of heat for having the Blade 1820 in it. Apparently, stiff, uncomfortable. I don't know what people are talking about. Blade's beautiful. And so I agree with you. Blade 98 1619 is a nice one. Solinco Hyper-G works best. Well, Solinco Hyper-G is a little bit of a, I don't know the nice way of putting it. It's actually a cheap string. It's a basic string. Solinco did a really great job marketing that Solinco Hyper-G. They gave it out to loads of colleges, loads of team players, got it really popular. But actually the other Solinco strings, Confidential, Torbite, Mac 10, I think are superior in most ways. So I would, from that Blade with the Hyper-G, maybe try tinkering with a few others, because you probably find some similar feel and better playability. But you know, just my view. Not official, just my view. Controversial, I'm told, in the studio. That's right. In studio. Speaking of studios, next door, studio being built, started building work today. So very soon, probably in the next 2 to 3 weeks, we'll be coming live. It'll look like from an exotic location, but it's just behind that wall. So there you go. I enjoyed the Blade 1820. Thanks, Chris. Well, feel free to find my top 5 control racket video and comment and say, I agree, Josh, you're right. I'd really appreciate that. Chris, you're my Aero 98 man, aren't you? Keep the questions coming. If you have any questions on your setups, I was just saying how I don't really enjoy my Pure Drive with Mac 10 and Vivo, and I don't know why. If anyone else has had things where they liked the strings in isolation but not together, let me know, I'm intrigued. RPM and Exalt hybrid, really nice. I'm not surprised. Similar to what you just said, Mac 10 recently, and don't love it as much. Yeah, it depends which RPM. If you're going RPM Blast, then it makes sense. I would try RPM Team. Don't ask me why, but just try it. RPM Team, I think, is the best of the RPM range. I think it's the sleeping giant amongst RPM strings. Sean is looking away because we don't really sell very much of it, but it is a very, very good string. And Exalt is also a very good string, as is from Babolat Addiction Plus. Babolat also, obviously, they were the original Natural Gut stringers. 150 years of Babolat this year, is that right? 150? Yeah, it must be 150. There's all sorts of big celebrations going on. I even have a Babolat 150 year t-shirt. I'm sure it's 150.
130?
No, it's not 130. You wouldn't celebrate 130, would you? Well, Sean's currently fact-checking me on the screen, so I no longer can see your comments, but I can see that Babolat is 150 years old. So there you go. That's that. Hello from Hereford, EZone 98. Is that a new one? I don't know how you got one. Very impressive. Although, Sean, we're getting only two being delivered today, tomorrow. Did it come today? No?
No.
Coming tomorrow, maybe Monday. So if you want an EZone 98 Grip 3, we've got two coming. So as soon as it hits the stock, it will go in a day. But there you go. So yeah, Chris, try RPM Team, see how you get on. Daniel, Blade 986019 is so stiff. See, there's people whinging about the blade being stiff. I don't find it like that when I use it. But yeah, maybe it's probably a technical thing. Some people really love it, maybe, yeah, which is odd. The Blade's such a hugely popular frame. I don't know if you can see it in the corner of my shot, but right here. And we also got it in the really, I think, really cool Roland Garros colour. And of which, Roland Garros coming up soon. I've got a sneaky trip to Paris with Head a couple of days before for 2 new launches. So more to come on that. I may try and go live from there. I'm not going to tell them, I'm going to do it on the sly. So watch this space. Because it'll be a Thursday as well, so we'll keep up our timings. EZone 98 with Sync 0, didn't like it. Now have Mac 10 and much prefer it. How does Vivo compare to Mac 10? Completely different. Mac 10 closer to 0. Vivo, not kind of in between 0 and Sync, but in terms of power and control, but in terms of feel, completely different. I'm really surprised you don't like Sync and 0. Did you put Sync in the mains? Because that's how Joe has it, and he loves it. But fair enough. But Mac 10 has been well received, but very different to Vivo. So I wouldn't interchange those particularly. Yes, a new one. Well done for getting one. If you want a second one, good luck. What do you think of the Boom Pro? Can you recommend 3 good strings for it? Not really, no. It depends what you want. I can give you a spin string recommendation. I can give you a control, a power. The Boom Pro is a great racket. Hawk Touch is very nice in it, but you have to be a really good player to get the most out of it. If you want to add something more to it, something a little bit more lively, maybe a Lynx Tour, if you want to stick with head, or maybe like a Polytour Drive Soft, maybe could be quite cool in that. Don't know. Do you know if Yonex is releasing a new Percept? I do know if they are. Gravity Pro 2025 at £48 and below string. Oh, what a loose. So all the Toro line strings, and to be fair, most of the co-polys, so your zeros and your syncs and your Mac 10s, and even things like your Alu Power should be strung 48 and below, really. We do them at 50 because you generally used to have them tight, but I would. So 48 I wouldn't say is particularly loose anymore. Gravity Pro, I think that's a really nice tension for that type of racket. You put a nice power string in that, maybe a little blend, and you'll get a lot from it. 0 in the mains, Grumps. Yeah, try Sync in the mains. The EZone 98, the new EZones are so powerful. The mains make up about 70-75% of the racket's whole playability. So try flipping it around and see if that makes it any different. That's my hot tip for you. Recommendations for the Gravity Tour 100. Do you mean the Gravity Pro 100 or the Gravity Tour 98?
Unless it's the old tour.
Unless you're talking 2023, of which I'm not interested in old. Control, are you asking control strings? Then Hawk Touch, Polytour Pro, Vivo would be quite a cool new shout, something like that. Currently playing with Lynx Tour. What did you want more of? So let me know if you're using Lynx Tour. Do you like it? What do you want more? More power? I assume you want more power and probably more spin. Any suggestions to make my RFO1 Future sweet spot bigger? Now, I haven't used the RFO1 Future yet, which is the new lighter one, but I would generally, if you want a bigger sweet spot, you just need to lower the tension. Obviously, a string that's slightly more forgiving, like something like a 0 loose, is going to give you a lot of playability, but you're also going to get some sort of wild outcomes that you kind of can't have both. Do you know when it'll be released or not? I do know it's going to be released, I really do. Not that I know that there's one coming. I didn't say that, did I? I got myself in a twist. Wooton, you caught me. Well played. Gary, what tension on 0-1 main syncs on crosses for the Regner 98? Well, the Regner 98 we used once a long time ago. Are the new ones strung? Are they ready? They're ready.
Next week.
Oh, they're getting strung next week, the new Regners that we've got. And I guess the Uzone Tour 100 as well. Joe talked about those last week, so I won't dwell on that. It felt very lively with 0 in the mains. Yes, exactly, so try the sync. I think that will help you out a lot. Have you tried the Qualia Sport Talk 2? I have not. I did see that they've just recently launched their Qualia, so normally, not to sound too big-headed about things, but we get sent a lot of samples these days from loads of brands all over the world asking us to review them. And we've got a whole pile, especially of string. So many brands. And we will go through them all because there's those, like when we first found Restring, it was just in the whole pile in the list, and then we finally tried it and we're like, oh wow, this is genuinely really, really good. So you've probably seen we've got some Miami reviews out, we've got a couple more to come. So similar thing. So yeah, I'm sure Qualia will send us some string and then we'll let you know. Ross, Pure Strike 100 1619, great racket. Want a bit more spin, maybe at a higher tension. So obviously Babolat would be just telling you to like RPM blast rough, right? But it depends how you generate your spin a little bit. Obviously like a rough string like that, you get it from the texture. Maybe you want it from the slickness and the sliding of the strings. If that's the case, then something like a 0, for example, is a really great option. I'm trying to think, or like a Caviar, or a Toro even, where you're going to get that. I'm just looking at my wall of Toro line and thinking what would work really nicely. Yeah, anything like that, you're going to get that slickness which will generate some more spin, even at the higher tension. Arish, Gravity Tour 98 with the RPM tough at 757. Is there a better string for this stick? Well, yeah, I would say so. But more importantly, do you like it? If you like it, then for you, there probably isn't a better string for that racket. RPM rough at 57 is a tough old string. If you like that, I would try Polytour Pro Strike. Similar in its crisp feeling, not as much spin, but I think maybe better all-round playable string. I don't know. I'm thinking of getting myself a Headspeed MP 2024. Of course, if you're in the UK, then please let us know if we can help. What string do you recommend? Depends what you want. Headspeed was a racket that I didn't put in my Modern Control top 5 list, and many people said it should have been in it. And in hindsight, it probably should have been in it. It's a great racket. I find it a little bit too flexible, and therefore a little bit wild sometimes, so I would put a control string in, like a Hawk Touch. Ben uses it with sync, full bed, I think. Yeah. He's currently got a Sync Vivo hybrid in it, which is pretty crazy. I don't know if it will be that good, but we'll see. Yeah, keep your questions coming and recommendations. Where am I up to?
Shift 99.
Shift 99 version 2, will it release soon? That one I genuinely don't know. I haven't seen it, I haven't heard of it. There is a Wilson release coming of a blue racket. quite soon, which I'm supposed to be using very soon. So we'll soon be able to be more excited about that. What tension with restring on the Onyx E-Zone Tour 100 from Japan? Well, are you in Japan, Gary? Because how have you got yourself a Onyx E-Zone Tour 100? We've got one, but we sent a man to Japan and he brought it back. Have you also got a man in Japan? Maybe. And so, yeah, I think we're testing it with Polytour Pro for the initial sort of review. Then we'll string it with probably 0, compare it to the 98 one, and see what we think. So I don't know yet, but restring would probably tell you about 48 to 50 pounds is going to be a decent spot. Assuming the 100 tour is as mental as the 100, I probably wouldn't go 0. I'd probably go sync because it is a crazy, crazy racket in a good way. Maverico, that is a brilliant name. What type of strings would you recommend for the Onyx Percept 100D? How many aces have you been hitting on Ben? I ace Ben daily. No, he probably has a better server than me, as much it pains me to say it. Hopefully he's not watching. But yes, his serve is pretty big. And speaking of big serves, very soon, in the next month, we'll be releasing a new coaching course called Make Your Serve Faster. It'll probably have a catchier name than that, but I highly recommend it. We've spent a long, long time producing it, and myself and Ben and Joe have gone through our archive of ideas and everything we've ever seen that's worked, and every little teaching point, concept, drill we've ever put together, we put into one course in all little different sections. So I guarantee there'll be something that makes your serve faster. And Ben's serve is a good one to learn off. So yeah, it's more Ben hitting aces on me. So there you go. You're welcome, Ben. It was his birthday this week, so I'm being nice. What type of strings? Hi to you, Andrew. Peter, I've just put Mac 10 in the head Radical MP, and it's great. Cool. That's, to be fair, sounds like a great idea. I think the new Radical MP is a brilliant racket. It's getting some hate, but I think it's very nice. I've always quite liked the Radicals, and as a control frame, you put a more power string in it. Obviously, Mac 10 is quite comfortable. The Exotic's quite comfortable in the head range, so I can see why that would be a nice fit. Derek, what string do you recommend for a V-Core 98 if you want to dial in the launch angle a bit? V-Cores have a high launch angle because they're top spin racket, right? I remember when I first saw the V-Core launch, not of this range, the one before, and it was quite funny. We had to sign NDAs that we wouldn't take photos, and then that day Leighton Hewitt had been using it at Wimbledon on the practice courts, and it was all over Twitter and everything, so the Japanese weren't very happy. But anyway, I remember seeing that, and there was graphs, and they had slow-mos of shots all about how amazingly high the launch angle is to generate loads of spin. So trying to dial it in is maybe not pointless, but it's not what it's meant to do. But if you were, then just either a string that's tension a bit higher, so the strings move less. That would be my first little tweak, and then maybe a thicker gauge, and then obviously you can change the string. Where should I add lead to my Puro 98 for more power on the serve and on my two-handed backhand? Well, you want to increase swing rate basically, so you're going to want to weight at the top, but if you add weight at the top, it's going to make it kind of insane. If you've got a local specialist like us near you, then I would bring it in and have it adjust and have it properly measured first, because it'll probably be out of balance either side as well, and have it balanced, and then try some weight, maybe just at 3 and 9 to start with, and then you can go more towards the top, or maybe like a 10 and 2, something like that could be quite nice. But yeah, try it. Two-handed backhand, I'd actually probably put weight in the hand with a bit of stability, but there you go. All capitals, Derek. That's very aggressive, but I'm into it. It's made me caught my eye. What would have to be done to adapt a Pure Strike 97? I really like the Pure Strike 97, but it's got to perform well on clay and in doubles. Doubles clay, well, isn't that an exciting sport? Not really. Other than opening the bed to a 1619. Well, you can't change the string bed of a racket. So if you've got the Pure Strike 97 and you want to make it, well, on clay you need something looser to give you more everything. And in doubles you need to get the ball through the court and away, so you need a power string in it, especially something like a 97 Pure Strike. So power. I mean, like a loose 0 or something is going to be a good option. Handset, hello from Hamburg. I switched from the RF Pro. The RF Pro got a lot of love, and the love now seems to be dwindling. slightly. I don't know if that's just my feelings, but Handset from Hamburg agrees with me. A Gut Ali rough combo, beautiful, very Federer-esque, but switch to the ISO 98 with the same setup. One-handed backhand flies on me, recommendation, yeah. We're going to make a video on this because it keeps coming up. And we think we've figured out why, because obviously we've got Ben as a one-hander and me and Joe as two-handers, that there are definitely types of rackets that suit single-handers and double-handers, and we think, and we're going to do some more testing on it, it's about the maneuverability and flexibility of the racket. So stiffer, more powerful frames, a la Pure Drive, ISO 98, for example, just don't have the maneuverability or the ability to get the swing speed through on a single-hander. And whereas things like a Pure Strike, a Speed, a Percept, a Blade do. And so that's probably why I probably wouldn't recommend the RF Pro or the ISO 98 for someone with a one-handed backhand, personally. But there you go. Gary, no, I'm in the universally hated USA. We don't. I have influential people. Oh, you're the man with the man in Japan, aren't you? Excellent. Yeah, they used to sell the ring. They're in the USA as well. They obviously universally hate the US too. Hello, what's your opinion for the Yonex V-Core 100? I'd like to try it with Polytour Fire at 55. Yeah, watch our string review, our Yonex Poly string review, because we use the V-Core 2023, and we use every single Yonex Poly string. And then we rank them, both me, Ben and Joe, and then overall. Polytour Fire doesn't actually come out that high from memory. But yeah, so watch that and see. But as a racket, the Yonex V-Core 100, I think, is one of the best mid-range, kind of can do a bit of everything very well. So yeah, well done, good choice. Arash, I'm currently using the Gravity Tour 98. Good for hitting, but it's too lively for matches. Would you recommend, I assume that's the ISO 98 or T-Fote. Well, the ISO 98 is very lively. But not that flexy. T-Vite 305. Yes, that could be quite a nice shout for you, because the original T-Vites I'd have been like, no, they are lively. They're kind of a little bit crazy, which is why I don't really like the new ones. It's a bit sensible, but it's very good in a sensible way. So yeah, I think T-Vite 305S is not a bad idea. But the Gravity Tour 98, also, I'm surprised you find it too flexible for a match. Tell me more about that. I want to know why. Mario, have you procured Tourline Otoro Spin or Otoro Tour yet? No, I haven't. Sean, who does the ordering, is looking at me because I have to place the Tourline orders and I haven't done it yet. But I will do it this week, maybe. So we'll get it middle of next week because they're pretty quick, Tourline. Although with the new tariffs, maybe it'll be slower. I don't know if we've got reciprocal tariffs of it coming in yet.
10%.
I don't know. We've got it going out, maybe not coming in. So no, but we will do. It's on the list. We'll do soon. So that'll be fun. 2 more strings to review. Honestly, the amount of strings that are bringing, it must be really easy to make strings. Maybe we should, in fact, we've been thinking about making our own string. We focused more on the naming than the playability. So we've got fat, P-H-A-T, we've got thin, P-H-I-N for a thick and a thin, and then phenomenal with an F, just because we can. So there you go. Jose, hello. Otoro Spin and Radical MP, as I just said, I don't know, I haven't used it, we haven't ordered it, and equally we haven't had any samples. So I will get onto Tourline and ask them to send me some samples at least ASAP, so we can test it, but we will get our stock orders in the next week, 10 days. Apparently it is good. The Radical MP, not so much of a spin frame though, so don't know. Handset, thanks. Looking forward to video on Rackets for one-handers. Yeah, I mean, it never was an idea that we had until on the lives actually continually came up, people saying, oh, by the way, one-handed backhand, and we're like, originally we were sort of thinking like, oh, it doesn't really make any difference. And then we started thinking like, actually it does. Why does Ben like all these rackets? And me and Joe really like these rackets, and that was the kind of, yeah, where we got to. I just saw we've got a new Wilson bag there, that's really cool. Leah, could you get the Wilson bag down? I want to show everyone the cool new, I haven't been in the shop all day. You can probably tell by my slightly burnt face that I've been on court all day running a tournament. And so I haven't seen the new stock. But yeah, it's kind of retro. Do we like it? I think Wilson make really good luggage. This is cool. Well done, Wilson. Is it cheap?
Yeah.
It's cheap as well. How much is it?
Same range. It's about 50, something.
Like 50 quid. Wow. Yeah, come on down. Beautiful bag. Anyway, that was very much a side. I wasn't planning to do that. T. Williamson. I used the VCore 98 with the Wasabi Pro. Nice. I liked it, but I would like a more connected, crisp string. So I love a crisp string too. Well done, Leah. Which is why I like Polytour Pro Strike. Real crisp, but you won't get that power spin that you get out of Wasabi Pro. There's a little bit of a trade-off, to be honest with you, between those two types, those two playabilities. What else have I tried?